Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hello Sunshine, the podcast where simple conversations brighten your day. I'm Janie.
And I'm Jimmy. Hey, everyone. Good to be back.
So today, we're talking about something a lot of people love thinking about, even when they're just sitting at home.
Let me guess. Money?
No. Well, kind of related, actually. Today's topic is travel.
Oh, now we're talking? I love this topic.
Yeah, I think travel is one of those topics that's perfect for practicing English because you use so many useful phrases, making plans, describing places, talking about experiences.
Totally. And everyone has a travel story, right? Even if it's just a weekend trip.
Exactly. So Jimmy, let's start simple. Do you like traveling?
I do, yeah. I'm not one of those people who travels every month, but when I go somewhere, I really try to enjoy it.
What's a place you've been to that you really loved?
Honestly, Bali. I went a few years ago and it just stuck with me. The beaches, the food, the pace of life, it felt very relaxing.
That's a great answer. A lot of our listeners are actually in Southeast Asia, so that might feel familiar to them too.
Right? If you're listening from around there, let us know. Did you grow up near a place like that?
Okay, so here's a useful phrase already. Jimmy said it stuck with me. That means something left a strong impression on you. You remember it clearly, even after time passes.
See, I didn't even plan that. It just came out naturally.
That's the best kind of English, the kind you don't have to think too hard about.
What about you, Jean? Where do you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Japan, definitely. I've always wanted to see it in autumn when the leaves change color.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Kyoto, maybe?
Yes, I've seen so many photos of the temples there with all the red and orange leaves. It just looks peaceful.
Okay, so that's a good moment to talk about a phrase we use when we imagine future travel. We say, I've always wanted to, like I've always wanted to visit Japan, or I've always wanted to try skydiving.
Right, it's a great way to talk about a long-time dream, something you've thought about wanting to do for a while.
Let's talk about planning a trip too, because that's a whole different type of conversation.
Oh, yes. Are you a planner, Jimmy? Like, do you make a full schedule?
Not really, no. I like to have a rough idea, but I don't like planning every single hour. I like leaving room for surprises.
So you're a go-with-the-flow traveler.
Exactly. Go with the flow. That's a good phrase, actually. It means you don't force a plan. You just let things happen naturally.
I'm the opposite. I like having a plan, at least for the important things, like where I'm staying and what I definitely want to see.
That makes sense too. I think it depends on the type of trip. If you're traveling somewhere completely new, maybe a plan helps you feel safe.
Right, but if you're somewhere familiar, maybe going with the flow is more fun.
Okay, here's a fun one. What's something that always goes wrong when you travel? Or almost always?
Oh, easy. Flight delays. It happens to me almost every time.
Same here. Or the classic, forgetting a charger.
Yes, that's such a common one.
So when something like that happens, we might say it's such a hassle. Like, the flight delay was such a hassle.
Good phrase. Hassle means something annoying or inconvenient. Not a big disaster, just something that makes things a little more difficult.
But honestly, even with the hassles, I think travel is worth it. It changes how you see things.
I agree. Even a short trip can give you a new perspective, or just help you relax and reset.
You know, that actually reminds me of something. Do you travel more with friends, or do you prefer going solo?
Honestly, a bit of both. But I did my first solo trip last year, and it completely changed how I see traveling.
Oh, really? Where did you go?
Just a small town a few hours from here, nothing fancy. But being alone forced me to talk to strangers, ask for directions, figure things out myself.
That sounds a little scary, honestly.
It was at first, but after a day or two, I actually started to enjoy it. There's something freeing about not having to check with anyone else about the plan.
I get that. I've never done a full solo trip, but I did travel alone for a work conference once, and I ended up exploring the city by myself in the evenings.
And how was that?
Honestly, kind of peaceful. No one to rush, no one to argue with about where to eat.
That's true. Traveling with other people is fun, but it does mean compromise.
Speaking of food, let's talk about that. What's the best thing you've ever eaten while traveling?
Oh, that's a hard one. But I think it was street food in Bangkok. Just a simple noodle dish from a tiny stall, but it was unforgettable.
See, that's the thing about travel food. It's not always the fancy restaurant that stays in your memory.
Exactly. Sometimes it's the opposite. The smaller, simpler places end up being the most memorable.
For me, it was a tiny family-run place in Bali. I still think about their fried rice sometimes.
See, now I want fried rice.
Same. Okay, here's a phrase for our listeners. When something is really, really good, we sometimes say it's to die for.
Right, like the noodles were to die for.
Exactly. Now, let's shift a little. What about budget? Are you someone who saves up for a big trip, or do you prefer cheaper, more frequent trips?
I think I lean towards saving up. I'd rather do one really meaningful trip a year than several small ones.
That makes sense. I'm more the opposite. I like squeezing in shorter trips whenever I can, even if it's just a weekend somewhere nearby.
That's a good approach too, honestly. It keeps things exciting without needing a huge budget.
Right, and you don't always need to go far to feel like you're traveling. Sometimes just a nearby town feels completely different.
True. I think people sometimes forget that travel doesn't have to mean an airplane and a passport.
Good point. Okay, let's talk about something a little more emotional. Culture shock. Have you ever experienced that?
Definitely. Especially the first time I traveled somewhere really different from home. Everything felt unfamiliar. The food, the language, even how people greeted each other.
How did you handle it?
Honestly, I just gave myself time. I stopped expecting things to feel normal right away.
That's a really healthy way to look at it. I think a lot of people expect to adjust immediately, and then they get frustrated when they don't.
Exactly. It's okay to feel a little lost at first. That's part of the experience.
All right, let's do a quick one for our listeners who are learning English through travel. What's one thing you always try to learn before visiting a new country?
Basic greetings, definitely. Even just hello, thank you, and excuse me can go a long way.
Totally agree. I also try to learn how to ask for directions because I get lost constantly.
Same, actually. I once walked in the completely wrong direction for almost 30 minutes.
Classic travel moment.
Right? But even that turned into a good memory later. Sometimes getting a little lost shows you parts of a place you never planned to see.
That's such a nice way to think about it, turning a mistake into part of the adventure. Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of the phrases we covered today.
Good idea. We had worth it, figure something out, compromise, to die for, squeeze in, culture shock, go a long way, and turn something into.
That's a solid list. Try using at least one of these today, even in a small sentence.
Yes, and remember, you don't need a perfect trip abroad to practice talking about travel. Just describing a weekend trip or even a dream destination is great practice.
Exactly. So to everyone listening, think about it. Is there somewhere nearby you haven't explored yet? Maybe that's your next small adventure.
I love that. All right, I think that's a great place to end today's episode.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. If this episode helped you learn something new, share it with a friend who's also learning English.
And don't forget to check the description for today's vocabulary list and practice notes.
Until next time, keep smiling, keep speaking, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.